My name is Saleemul Huq. I'm the director of the International Center for Climate Change and Development based at the Independent University, Bangladesh. And I'm going to talk about the upcoming 24th Conference of Parties of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which is going to take place in Katowice in Poland from the 2nd to the 14th of December 2018. Now, this is a very important COP because what we are going to do here, we hope, is to get what is called the rule book for the Paris Agreement agreed. The Paris Agreement is the new major agreement that all countries have agreed to implement, and it was agreed at the 21st Conference of Parties a few years ago in Paris. And as I said, all countries have agreed to abide by it and to implement the agreement that was agreed there. Even though Mr. Trump, the President of the United States, has officially indicated that the United States wishes to withdraw from the Paris Agreement, that process takes time, and so the United States will still be with us in Katowice. The delegation will be there, even if they have expressed their interest in withdrawing. So it doesn't really make a huge difference for COP24. So the issues that are going to be up for discussion are: how do we measure, report, and verify, the three letters being M, R, and V, for all the different aspects and articles of the Paris Agreement. I'm not going to describe them all, but I'll very briefly mention the most important ones. The first and most important is by far the long-term temperature goal. We have agreed in Paris that we should keep it well below 2 degrees and if possible 1.5 degrees. And we have had since then a very, very important report from the scientific community, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, which has highlighted the need for us to keep it below 1.5 degrees, the difference between 1.5 and 2 degrees being huge in terms of the impacts. So we want to keep it below 1.5, also showing us how to do that, which is to become 100% renewable dependent by 2050 at the latest. So that's going to drive our ambition. Hopefully we can improve and enhance ambition. The second aspect of the goal is adaptation, which is Article 7 of the Paris Agreement. And under adaptation, we have agreed a global goal on adaptation, but we haven't agreed what that is and how we measure it. Hopefully, we will get some progress on that. The next article is Article 8 of the Paris Agreement, which is on loss and damage, which is a very important issue that we need to address and think about, particularly the consequences of human impacts on loss and damage, which is migration. So the enhancement of climate-induced migrants being displaced is something that we now need to take into account, and that in the climate change negotiations falls under the issue of loss and damage, or Article 8. And the final article that is of importance to us is Article 11, which is the capacity building article, which we will be working on and I'll be providing more information on. And then one of the things that we always have to discuss is funding for tackling climate change, which is not a specific article, but is something that we will always take into account. The 100 billion a year from 2020 onwards, how is that going to be delivered, will be one of the major issues we will be discussing.